Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Alchemist Lab information session, hosted today by the Center for Global Partnerships and Learning with the Graduate School of Education and Psychology here at Pepperdine University. We are really happy to host Dr. Amanda Wickramasinghe and Hadil Anabtawi today, who will be speaking to us about the Alchemist Lab. Now, before we begin, let me introduce you to our speaker, Dr. Amanda. So a little bit about her. Dr. Amanda Wickramasinghe is the Director of Education for ERA Brokers. She is responsible for implementing education initiatives for 9 different offices across 3 different states. Additionally, she is an adjunct professor for global human resource management and international affairs graduate programs. She's also the postdoctoral fellow for GCEP here, and she serves on multiple research and international affairs committees to create strategic global partnerships. So I'm very pleased to introduce Dr. Amanda to all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Azia. We are so excited to be here. I want to extend a special thank you to the Center for Global Partnerships and Learning and GSAP, the Graduate School of Education and Psychology, for their partnership and for hosting this information session. We are thrilled to be able to work with the Center for Global Partnerships, as their mission and our mission certainly aligns in respect to learning and development globally. We're looking forward to introducing the Alchemist Lab and our master trainer, Hadil Antawabi, and she will be speaking to us today about the certificate program. But before I introduce her, I want to provide some context as to how this partnership came to fruition. So I met Hadil a few years ago when we both attended a women's global conference, and she was one of the distinguished keynote speakers. She was a dynamic leader and a dedicated educator, and certainly an entrepreneur. And I knew I just had to get to know her. And through different Zoom meetings and chats and meeting face-to-face, I knew she was an ideal candidate to bring to Pepperdine and helping her company partner with Pepperdine. And so this certificate program came to be in that regard. So it's a really a fantastic way to create global strategic partnerships. So now I'm really excited to introduce to you Hadil Antawabi. She is an impact-driven entrepreneur in the children and girls empowerment fields, a certified life coach, a teacher's trainer, and the founder of Alchemist Lab in Amman, Jordan. She is also a Vital Voices Fellow and a We Empower and DVF International Awardee. She studied in industrial engineering at the University of Jordan and has also earned an MBA. In 2006, she established Ideas for Fun, which was her first company. And in 2012, she established the Alchemist Lab with a mission to empower generations of problem solvers globally. In addition, she has created several other initiatives around the world in programs specifically called Go Girls. And in 2020, she launched the Alchemist Lab Online Academy, offering both blended learning and STEM programs for children and educators in Jordan and around the world. So really excited to introduce Hadil. Hadil, welcome.
Thank you so much, Amanda. And thank you, everybody. I'm happy to talk to you today. Let me start by giving more information about the Alchemist Lab, as Amanda introduced. The Alchemist Lab wasn't my first company. My first company was in 2006, as Amanda mentioned, Ideas for Fun. And we started in 2006 focusing on introducing science for the young generations through drama and fun, hands-on activities. And in 2012, we launched the Alchemist Lab, and it was a reflection of a market need, specifically to address different experiences that include STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And we started with STEM at that time. The Alchemist Lab is a social enterprise, meaning that our mission is to empower a generation of kids, problem solvers globally. Also, our mission is to bring up-to-date learning experiences to all children, regardless of their socioeconomic background. People who work in STEM, they know that STEM is expensive to adopt in some places. So we try to offer solutions and upskilling programs that can help educators really adopt STEM wherever they are. In 2019, we launched the Alchemist Lab in the biggest refugee camp in Jordan, targeting more than 25,000 children, Syrian refugees in Jordan. We launched our creative space there, and we trained educators there in order to adopt our methodologies and teach and upskill kids there. And also in 2020, we launched the Alchemist Lab Online Academy, offering blended learning programs for both children and educators, actually in both languages, Arabic and English, because one of the gaps is having like good quality programs in Arabic online. My passion towards kids and upskilling kids started very early when I really joined the workforce. I'm an industrial engineer. I started to work in a big pharmaceutical companies. I'm not a teacher, but I'm considered as a leading educator in the Middle East, focused on STEM. And basically what I've figured out that there is a gap between what we teach and educate children at school and the real life requirement for skills. And education is really changing so fast. And in order to cope with this fast changing sector and the availability of information everywhere and the globalization, we need to really start to focus more on the skills for employability for our kids. It's really sad that our children, they spend at school more than 12 years old, and then when they are asked to choose which field to go to study at university, they are confused about what they are good at, what are the basic skills, and they all graduate to the work places, and literally they miss many of the skills that they need. So World Economic Forum has identified a couple of top skills our students and children need in order to compete globally. And they highlighted that this is literally missing, or there is a lack of supporting activities and programs inside schools in order to encourage and to build these skills. So we started to focus in 2012 till 2020 on working with children, and also not only children, also with educators. We do believe that educators are change makers. We do believe that they are not given the right support inside classrooms and everywhere, and the change starts there. If educators are able to empower students and children at early age with the right skills, inspires them to know what's the world around them, to learn about this world, inspire them to dig deep to know what are their strengths, their interests from early age, they save children time to become successful, and also they develop countries economically, because there is no time wasted, there is no money wasted. All kids graduate from school knowing what streams they are going to pursue, and also this will bring to in the pipeline to universities highly skilled children who know what they want from life. So basically, our aim is to reinvent education by empowering educators to lead change inside their classrooms. Let me explain a bit about STEAM and what does STEAM stand for. STEAM, it's an educational approach to learning in which we encourage students towards creativity, creative and critical thinking, questioning, inquiry, and problem solving. So it's one of the top proven methodologies inside the classrooms, and it's connected to many of the future skills employers and education, the good education require inside the classrooms. I would also like, I will explain more about this certificate in particular, but also I would like to define what do we mean by educators in general, because educators in general, they are not only teachers. And personally, I don't believe that educators are only teachers. Educators are whoever work with kids either inside a school and classrooms, or in activity centers, in any after school program and educational setup for children. Sometimes people they get surprised when I say that I believe that even parents are educators in a way. Whoever is surrounded by kids, our mission is to upskill these kids. This makes us all educators around these kids. And the more we know about how kids think, what do they need as skills, what motivate them into learning, the more we encourage these kids towards education, and the more we become successful in our mission, and also inspire children to become more successful. We have worked in Jordan and in the Middle East through the online learning with more than 40,000 students and educators. So our programs are tested and they are award-winning programs. As Amanda mentioned, we got the We Empower Award for advancing good education and gender equality in the Middle East. And maybe we talk later about the gender equality and our specific program for young girls called Go Girls. However, now I'd like to highlight what makes this certificate unique, and what do we focus on in this teacher certificate. In this teacher certificate in particular, we're bringing our experience, which is more than, I would say, 12 years of experience working with educators. And so it's more as hands-on experiences, more as experiences that worked with us and things that did not work with us. So we're bringing this experience. And also what makes this program unique, that we come from business entrepreneurship, which is one of the top skills needed for the future, one of the skills that is needed for our students to be successful in the future. And we're not saying there is a new trend now. It's not entrepreneurship. It's not about building your own company. You need to be an entrepreneur, intrapreneur inside your company, wherever you are. It's connected to creativity, problem solving, and also building solutions. And this is what entrepreneur that I'm talking about. Also, we come from a background of life coaches, and I want to stress here about life coaches, because a big part of life coaching that we got and we focus on is how the mind works. What motivates the mind? What makes any communication or learning experience with kids or with people around us successful from life coaching aspect? And all our programs were designed taking into consideration this element, which makes them unique and different. And the last thing that makes this program, I would say, unique, that most programs actually, not only educators, also entrepreneurship, business programs, they always highlight how you become a successful entrepreneur. And they start to talk technical about how do you pitch your story, and how do you value your company, how do you put a business plan, and all these things are really technical. However, the most important aspect before all that is us as human beings And how do we really take care of ourselves? How do we create more self-awareness of ourselves? How do we scan our strengths and weaknesses? How to we put our strategic intent, like draw a journey for our life? What do we expect from ourselves? So I do believe that success starts from within. And so that the first module of this program is basically about the leader in me. How do I become a leader in my space? How do I take care of myself? Number one, how do I scan my strengths and weaknesses, my leadership style, and how to deal with the different leadership styles? Because and this what makes life coaching is like a different field that is becoming successful and rather than consultancy, because usually consultants, they come to you and they say, okay, I suggest that you do this and this and this. However, there are some obstacles from within and some styles that a solution that can be adopted by Amanda might not be a solution that Hadil can adopt inside the classroom, because there is a difference in personality, there is a difference in strengths and weaknesses. So scanning our strengths and weaknesses and knowing more ourselves, it will help us to put a plan on where to focus on as strengths and what to do with our weaknesses, either to build, to move this weakness to become a strength, or other tools that can collaborate with others to like close the gap of weaknesses that I have. So the first module focuses on this and focuses on a very important point, which is how do we motivate ourselves? And I started with this because from my experience, motivated teachers, they can easily find technical information, they can find answers, they can make collaborations, they can really solve their own problems inside the classrooms, because with the globalization and with the technology, information is becoming accessible and available everywhere, which actually made the role of the educator different than the past. 50 years ago, the educator was supposed to come inside the classroom, a science teacher, part of the responsibility of a science teacher to come to like define what is chemical reaction inside the classrooms. However, with the availability of information online, the role of the educators is changing, and it's becoming more focused on the skills to upskill for, kids, and also to taking care of the differences between kids inside the classrooms, and dealing with every student as an individual learner inside the classroom. This is very creative, and this has brought very creativity inside the classroom. However, it brought many challenges for many teachers to manage classrooms, and it added some of challenges, stress. Some educators are overwhelmed inside the classrooms. Whenever we train educators about hands-on experiences and interactive classrooms, they become scared that they are going to lose control inside the classrooms. There are many challenges. We tackle all these challenges and all these aspects inside our program, and we try to help educators be relaxed about this, and this is the starting point. Now, the second module is basically about good teaching. And I believe in life, even success, it has to be defined when people come defined before really the actual work. And when people ask, do you consider yourself successful? Successful in what way? What is your definition of success? There are many initiatives that are launched in villages to impact 10,000 students in the villages, and they reach that impact. They are successful from that aspect. But if you compare these initiatives with the big, highly scalable edtech solutions around the world, 10,000 means nothing. However, for educators, it's very important to define what is good teaching and to understand what is good teaching, and to connect this definition with the goals to be set inside the classrooms in order to reach these goals. So good education, inside this module, we discuss these points, and also we discuss what are the challenges that we face inside the classrooms for students to be motivated towards education, because we think that this is one of the things that teachers have challenges in, that sometimes, okay, some kids, they don't like science. How do I bring these kids on the table to be motivated to learn about science? Many kids, they ask educators, why am I learning mathematics or science? I don't want to be scientist or engineer. I'm into art. Why do I learn these subjects? So we are empowering educators with tools to be able to interact and ask with the answer these students. And these are from our experience and from the knowledge and the trainings that we personally got. In this module also, we're putting an a template of a screener, activity screener, that educators can take and use inside their classrooms to assess their classes and to what extent their classes are interactive. And we're helping educators to set the goals and how to shift from being the goal to be focused on information or skills. And this change, how can we manage it inside the classroom as time as a content? And then these are the main introduction, the two modules, and then we continue to focus on the next module is about STEAM. And STEAM basically, as I said, it's science, technology, engineering, art, and math. We explain more what is STEAM inside this module. Also, we focus, we believe that STEAM, as I said, it's not about people who want, or kids who want to pursue science studies. So we focus on the STEAM skills. And we do believe that STEAM skills are required for every student in the future. So we highlight the STEAM skills and how do we really encourage these skills inside the classrooms. And also we focus on the STEAM careers in the future, because they are really important. And also we focus on basically two main things that we think are very important to start with as educators. And we try during this module to empower educators with tools in order to adopt or encourage these skills inside the classroom, which is mainly questioning. We do believe that STEAM is about questioning and encouraging questioning. And also there is one thing that is really ignored inside schools, and it's a life skill, which is learning from mistakes. How do we encourage learning from mistakes, rebuilding models, and also failure is part of life. Unfortunately, our educational system everywhere, it encourages students to look at failure as it is something wrong. Although in life, we all know that unless we train students to deal with failure and accept failure and rise again after failure, we've done nothing. And we do believe that learning from mistakes is part of STEAM skills and problem-solving skills. So in this module, we focus on these two things, the questioning and the learning from mistakes. And also we highlight gaps and work together with the educators on gaps that are newly detected in STEAM curriculum around the world. And we encourage these educators to be leaders in their spaces and to create initiatives that are connected to curriculum, to really include these main gaps. I will not, I don't have the time to really go over all the details. However, I'm trying to highlight what would be encouraging for educators to participate. Now, after the STEAM module, we go into curiosity, and curiosity is one module because we do believe that it's really very important. Kids can't learn without being curious about what they are learning. And we all know this. And we all know this, that a kid who is interested in football, maybe it's really difficult to encourage these kids towards science. In this module, we're putting some of our experience, how to raise the curiosity of kids who are not interested in our classrooms. How do we raise the level of curiosity? Because this is an essential step of learning. And also we're highlighting from our experience two main things that will help educators, which is observation skills and also senses. Educators usually at early ages in KG and grade 1, they focus on triggering the senses of kids. However, grades when they start like middle school or even higher than middle school, they forget that senses, different senses are part of learning, and also they are highly connected to encouraging curiosity. We're challenging these two concepts inside this module. After that, we start to a detailed module highlighting through 3 different methodologies that we think educators, if they adopt inside the classrooms, they can encourage STEAM skills. And we chose these 3 methodologies because basically they are fun. And from our experience with kids and adopting these methodologies, kids love to learn through these methodologies. And we're going through the steps how to design lesson plans based on these methodologies. And basically they are problem-based methodology, game-based methodology, and also inquiry-based methodology. And we're trying to encourage with hands-on worksheets and assignments to encourage teachers and educators to really focus on implementing these methodologies inside the classroom. The next module is basically about, actually it's an 8-module course program. And we do believe from our experience that communication and personal branding, which many programs, educators programs and teacher certificate programs, they don't really tackle communication or personal branding. However, it's very important from our experience for educators, and it's important from 2 aspects. Number 1, improving our communication improves our way to deliver information inside the classrooms, and also it encourages us as educators to communicate our needs and our ideas with other fellows and colleagues inside the school. And this is really important because educators and teachers, they are part of a big school or big community that they want to collaborate in order to see the change happening. So we're focusing on this module how to empower ourselves with more techniques to become better communicators, and also the personal branding. How do we adopt a strong personal brand? We do believe a personal brand, although it's more known in business and it's not popular in schools for educators to really develop their personal brands. But however, we do believe that personal brands with kids helps teacher to overcome many obstacles inside the classrooms. On top of these are getting students engaged with the educator's mission and interests inside the classroom. So building a strong personal brand inside the classroom and in the school and in any community is very important for educators. So we're tackling this in this module. And then the next, we're focusing a separate module on scientific thinking. And we do believe that scientific thinking is a way of life. If we go through the scientific thinking we can all notice that we do make decisions in life scientifically, being scientists or in any other career. The scientific thinking starts with a question that we want to answer, and then research data, and then develop a hypothesis about the answer and the right solution. And then we test it, and then we figure out if it's right or wrong. And then we start again the loop. So it's a skill, it's a decision-making skill. So it's a skill that is very important to develop inside the classroom and for our students, for them to be successful in the future. And then the final module would be about innovation and how do we really build, based on all these learnings, build a lesson plan that is creative and innovative. And we try to tackle during this module how to become innovative with minimum resources, because one of the obstacles everywhere that how can we adopt, how can we teach coding or teach robotics or teach other scientific streams inside classrooms, and these are very expensive to adopt. So we're trying to encourage educators to think beyond the outside the box, and how to really creatively develop an innovative lesson plan. Now I would like to highlight, these are the modules, and I would like to really highlight that this is delivered through the Alchemist Lab Online Academy, which is an interactive LMS, and it's a social-based e-learning LMS, meaning that inside the platform, we focus on encouraging participants to be active and communicate with other educators inside the group. And also, the program is asynchronous. That there is a lot of videos and information and worksheets and assignments that is available on the LMS. However, we give some room for optional group sessions that we'll create in order to encourage educators to interact with colleagues, and also with me as a lead instructor. And one last thing that we'll do it for this, and we'll hopefully that this will encourage educators for this cohort to participate, that in addition to being in a group Zoom session, I'm ready personally to offer participants a coaching, a 1 hour coaching time, where after going through the program at the beginning, towards the middle, or at the end, any educator or teacher wants to talk about a specific challenge that she wants to overcome inside the classroom or in life. I'd like to really offer my experience and my support and life coaching skill to help participants to overcome these challenges. One last thing, in this program, there is a unit called How to Empower global STEM leaders, global STEAM leaders. And we encourage educators to think of ways to connect their students to the world outside their schools, states, countries, and around the world. This is one of the top skills our students need. And this, I call it personally, there's something called emotional intelligence. I call it cultural intelligence. I think our students need to be connected to the world around them, specifically that we, through the technology and internet, they are exposed to be connected with the world. We have to develop their skills and to encourage them more to learn about other cultures and to connect to the world around them. And in order to do this, it's very important for educators to be to cross culture, to be connected to educators from around the world, and this like a global impact, to think of being part of a big world of educators that we work together to make an invention or lead a change in education and make a difference. And so we look at educators as leaders, and we hope that through this program, all educators will be connected to different leaders around the world, where we all can lead change in our own spaces. I hope that I've covered everything and I did not forget to mention anything in this program, and I'm happy to answer any question. If you have any question about the program, about the Alchemist Lab, about my experience, you're welcome to ask. And of course, Amanda, you know me better, so if you think that I've missed anything, be my guest to add or comment.
Thank you, Hadil. That was such a comprehensive review of the certificate. I do want to point out that Hadil is certainly a global leader. So the certificate certainly comes from a global lens, and that's a necessary skill, at least I think, for our future leaders and our students to understand global intelligence and cultural intelligence, and how to work cross-culturally in an effective and cohesive manner. So that's one of the added benefits of this certificate. Although it's specific to teacher education, it certainly comes from a global lens.
I might have missed this, but can you speak a little bit about Timeframe, how long the certificate is and some of the logistics?
Yeah. Okay, so it's the next cohort, we're starting on the 15th of February. Since it's a synchronous model, it's they can like take it anytime, big part of the content. However, according to modules, we expect that it's up to teachers, but from our experience, the 8 modules will take 8 to 12 months to finish.
So I had a question. So you said it's going to take 8 to 12 months. Is each module about 4 weeks? Is that how it works?
No, actually, each module is 1 week. So it's 8. Yeah. So 1 week if and we're giving some room that some teachers will need like more than 1 week. And in some modules, because some of the ideas that they need to test with their students, sometimes from our experience, we feel that teachers, they need 2 weeks for that module. So usually the optimum is to finish in 8 weeks, 8 modules, 1 module per week, and then the 12 weeks is an additional time for them to finalize the project for getting the certificate.
I see. My other question that I have is, you mentioned life coaching. How does that work in tandem with this program? I mean, say if I decide to take this program, how would I get that access, or how does that work?
Yeah, actually in this program, we focus on teachers in STEM. So all the life coaching skills focused on helping educators solve their own problems and overcome their obstacles as educators. And it's embedded inside the challenges that they have in their lives and inside the classrooms. And we focus also on how the mind works, because life coaching is about understanding the brain and how the mind works, and how we're empowering educators with some information that will help them, according to this knowledge of how the mind works, develop and design lesson plans that will be more encouraging, motivating, and engaging for students inside the classrooms. So this is the curriculum, the base curriculums. However, we're offering, as I said, for this only 1 session for any educator. If she's having like a certain challenge she needs to overcome, personal or inside the classroom, we'll do one-to-one life coaching if she thinks that this challenge is stopping her from being the educator and the teacher inside the classroom that she wishes to be. So this is basically the part of life coaching inside this certificate.
Perfect, thank you. Simone, I know you have a question.
So yes, thank you so much. I'm a principal and we're focusing on project-based learning and STEM. So as an administrator, it seems like this will be beneficial for me and it's something I want to do, but is it focused more on the teacher, in the classroom teacher teaching STEM and STEAM, or would this be okay for an administrator as well?
Yeah, actually, it's basically joining. It's what do you want to do inside your school? I personally think that if you want to adopt more skills building inside the school and encourage more educators inside the your schools to build the skills of educators, it's very important. However, it would be the only challenge that would be is that most worksheets and most assignments inside the classroom, it's inside the certificate, and it's focused on how to build and design lesson plans in your school. If you want to take this program and then encourage this among educators inside your school, that would be a good idea, to tell you frankly.
Okay, thank you so much. That totally answers my question. So I can use this as a launch pad to work with my teachers to continue to do this or build out the programs that we have.
Yeah, and you can use the worksheets actually to encourage the teachers how to look at things differently, and will help you to evaluate the educators, how are they doing inside the classrooms and something like this.
Okay, thank you so much.
Sloan, if I may add, perhaps this might be advantageous to you from a principal standpoint during your meetings with your teachers or mentor sessions or peer-to-peer sessions to perhaps advise as to new methods that they can utilize in the classroom. So it can serve as a coaching purpose for you as well.
Perfect. Yes. Thank you so much.
So I have a question. It's kind of on a practical, it's so fascinating, and I'm so glad that you're doing this work. It's just so great for everyone. But what would it look like for a participant in the program in terms of like and forgive me if you already shared this, but the number of hours of work kind of anticipated, from the individual teacher who was getting the certificate, and what kind of work, what kind of assignments or work is involved?
Yeah, it's an average from our experience that we expect each module to take from 3 to 5 hours maximum. And this includes the thinking, the brainstorming with ourselves, have to develop an idea, if we need to test it with our students, if we want to talk with the others. It's not the videos and the content on the platform. The videos and the content on the platform, it will need much less time. However, there is a lot of work that they have to work to design based on the ideas that they learn and they test with the students. So the maximum is 5 hours per module.
And is this then, do the students or the teacher students, do they collaborate with each other, or is it all kind of independent work? How does that look?
Yeah, actually some part of we encourage collaborations.
Okay.
And thank you for raising this, because we do believe in this program that in order to create initiatives, and this is another point maybe that will help Simone, that we all always encourage educators inside the same school or in different schools to collaborate in like developing a new initiative. So there are some assignments that educators can sit and decide what topic they want to cover and then develop a lesson plan. And there are some assignments that they can do alone, but if they do it with others to create a bigger initiative, it would be better for them. And this is towards the end of the program. The starting of the program, they start, okay, it's an assignment, they can do it inside the classrooms. And towards the end, the idea of the graduation, it can be collaboration and building an initiative that will make and solve a problem inside their school and will make a difference.
Thank you.
I like that idea, the initiative, building an initiative. inside the school and maybe with a cohort of my colleagues. I really like that idea. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. I think it's a motivational tool inside schools also. And in many schools, we witness this in our part of the world, that STEM educators, they started to lead upskilling of other teachers, because when they learn about problem solving, and when I say STEM is supposed to be not only for science classrooms. Even English, even other classrooms, they need to really understand what is STEAM. So our vision in the future, that all educators, regardless they teach science, other languages, whatever, they attend such program and try to understand how it works and then adopt it in their classrooms, because we're a part of a big world, and the interconnection between all subjects is very important, actually.
I had a question, Hadil. So I'm loving what everyone's asking, and I'm loving the answers. I wanted to know, because I had a few people that kind of asked this question a while back. You know how people have to go and get their teaching certifications. Would this count as like another teaching certification for them if they, are continuing education units?
So that's a very good question, Nazia. At the present moment, it is just a certification, but in terms of continuing education units, that is something we're working on for the future.
Okay.
As the program evolves, we are thinking on a strategic plan in terms of contacting the appropriate teachers associations so that we can get the certificate accredited for continuing education credit. But for the present moment, it's a certification program, and essentially they're going to gain so much knowledge. The CE units will be a second part to it.
Definitely. Amazing. Okay. And Simone, again, go ahead.
One of the questions, so you were mentioning the continuing education credits. Is there any way that a medallion can be attached to this? So for those of us who don't need, another credential or anything like that, but those kind of like LinkedIn and those medallions, people do look at those. Is there any way to have one of those attached to this?
That's actually a great suggestion. Yes, we can, Hadil, we can certainly talk about that and incorporate it to the certificate. Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Simone, just for clarity, are you talking about the Credly badges that some of our certificate programs already carry?
Yes, exactly.
Got it. Okay.
just to let everybody know, I have been placing the link in the chat. So if you are interested in knowing more or you're wanting to sign up, the link is in the chat, www.thealchemistlabacademy.com. And you can go ahead and check out the certification and sign up on the site and get some more information, of course. Do we have any more questions left? We still have a few more minutes for questions and answers, if there are any more.
I do, yeah. So just in wanting to kind of get a picture of the experience and like that, it's in terms of like individual participation, does the program start like, is there a cohort component to this at all, or is it like individuals can start at any time, stop at any time, or that sort of thing?
Yeah, actually, for the time being, we decided to make it a cohort so we can guarantee the connection, and it starts on the 15th of February.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So in the cohort then, and also just, again, it's so fascinating. I'm just really wanting to know what it looks and feels like. So, and a cohort can include different schools, different countries, how's that set up?
Yeah, this is exactly what we aim to do. We aim to connect educators from around the world to share their experiences, to learn from each other as one aspect also, and to really create a difference in their own spaces.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I love the way this is set up. So cool.
Thank you.
Yes, this is so exciting. Do you have any more questions? Simone, Sydney, any questions on your end?
No, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
No questions here either. Thank you so much.
Of course, great. And so anyone else, Dr. Gabby, Dr. Brahme, do you all have any more questions to ask?
Yeah, I would like to add one last thing, probably, since it's that the Alchemist Lab in general, one of our focus is the girls, the young girls. And we do have specific programs for closing the gender gap in STEM careers. In this certificate, we address in one of the modules how to encourage girls as part of, because from our experience dealing with students, we've noticed different, number one, girls, they outscore boys in STEM in general. However, they have some skills issues and some confidence issues that they make them their participation inside the classrooms not as boys in general. So we address one of the techniques and tools that we use inside the classroom to encourage more girls. Of course, in Jordan, we work with the girls 12 and above, which is an older age, and we highlight the STEM careers. We bring role models in STEM. So our focus also having like in STEM, boys and girls, 50-50 interested in this field. We never forget boys or girls. We target both.
That's actually really wonderful to hear. And we've heard you speak to this before, so we're definitely going to bring you back to our podcast to talk about the Girl Code, because I think that's fascinating, and especially given, you know, the way society currently is going, the conversations around gender and leadership and the STEM field and the STEAM field. I think that the work you're doing is amazing, and we'll definitely want to showcase that further. But with that being said, I actually don't have any other questions. I want to thank you for being here today. I want to thank you both, Dr. Amanda and Hadil, for joining us and bringing the program to Pepperdine, and, you know, allowing us to partner and continuing to provide value and opportunity to both our stakeholders and our community. So thank you for that.
Thank you so
Dr.
much.
Asia, I will let you close out the session. I just wanted to express my thank you.
Well, sounds great. And I want to say thank you as well. I think this is such a great program, a great certificate. And I know that here at the Center for Global Partnerships and Learning, here with GSEP, I mean, we are just super honored to have this certificate here. And of course, for all of you who are here today, thank you so much for attending. For those of you who are listening to the recording, thank you so much for listening to the recorded session. Of course, if there are any questions, please feel free to send an email over to Hadil and Abtabi. We will make sure that that email and also the website is included in our description, and also to reach out to Dr. Amanda if you have any questions as well. And you can also reach out to us. Again, I will make sure that the links are all going to be available for everybody to have access to. With that said, thank you again so much for coming today and listening in to Hadil and Dr. Amanda. And thank you, Dr. Amanda and Hadil, for coming and giving us some really great information and insight about not only just your program, but really what STEAM is all about, and helping us to really kind of get our own juices kind of flowing as far as how we really want to encourage more and more people to become more STEAM oriented, so to speak. Yeah. And with that said, thank you. Yes, and thank you. And with that said, thank you so much, everybody, for being a part of our session today. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at any time over either at the Center for Global Partnerships and Learning or right over to Hadil and Dr. Amanda. Thank you, everybody, so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.